feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares too. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point here, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me.
Hello and welcome to the first ever Pitch Black stream. Yeah, this is going to be fun. I intend to do this quite a bit. I'm trying to reserve the majority of the development of Pitch Black to do on stream because I think it'd be fun if people show up to sort of show them how I'm going about making Pitch Black. You know, this is the first thing that I've made solo before. It's completely logic based, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff that goes wrong. So it's going to be fun. But so yeah, this is Pitch Black. Basically, everything fits inside a singular microchip. And if you start to see my controller do this a lot, and I have to keep adjusting it, it's because I have stick drift and I'm waiting for a new controller to come in the post. But until it does, we'll have to manage with it. So yeah, this is the scene of Pitch Black. It is literally just a completely darkened scene, and everything is completely controlled by the logic. So what I thought I would do first is just give you a quick rundown of everything that's in this scene, and then we'll start to work on the stuff that I want to work on today. So in the scene settings, we have our global settings to sort of help get rid of the imp and stuff and make sure that everything is adjusted correctly. And then we have this, which is our controls menu. So at any point in the game, you can press the touchpad and it will bring up the controls. So that's what basically this does. So you've got some keyframes, and these are all the different elements of the menu, and they all work together to make a functioning menu that you can use. And in here is some metal platforming that I found, and I keep it there because it's just a whole collection of sounds that come in extremely useful. So I leave that there so it's easy to use and find. This is the original mechanics that I created that I tend to go to quite a lot. So you have the turning left, turning right, door opening, and this is the sounds that create the walking. Because of the way that I've designed Pitch Black, it's difficult to develop a scene unless it's currently active. So this scene doesn't activate until this chip is finished, and the same, it sort of carries on. So once that one finishes, this one will turn on. Once that finishes, the next one will turn on, and so on and so forth. So I need to find a way to get around that, because it's difficult. Like if I want to go in here and start working on this, I have to go through the whole entire process to get to here. So I'm going to start once I finish this section. Once this section is finished, I'm going to start isolating the logic into individual scenes so that I can edit them instantaneously. And then once they're complete, I will import them into the Pitch Black scene to wire up. So that's something that I've learned recently. But for today, for what we're going to do, I'm just going to use the current scene, and moving forward, I will change it so that each time I do a stream, it's completely isolated to its own scene, so it makes it a lot more easier to develop. Hi Rip Evil Artheus, how are you? Thank you for coming. So, what's new? This is what's new and what we're going to be working on first. We now have full logic. So, one of the issues that I've been facing since the reveal of Pitch Black is I've had a couple of people play it offline, of course, you know, just close friends, because I don't want to sort of reveal anything anytime soon. And the first thing that they did was that they just started spamming the L2 and R2 buttons, which in turn meant that they was going way too fast, and it was triggering all sorts of stuff. Some things is timed, so there'll be some voiceover while you're going through a long corridor, and like if that voice line lasts for like 15 seconds, they was just blasting the L2 and R2 buttons to run, which caused some overlap with the voiceover and stuff. Your logic looks complicated, but I like the organised wiring, yeah. I have a thing for wires. Since I've started to learn logic, yeah, wires, I have to have them tidy. They've got to look nice, otherwise it just really, really agitates me. And yes, it does look complicated, but obviously because I'm the one that's created it, it makes sense to me. So I can imagine someone looking at this and thinking, oh my god, what the hell is happening, and why is there so many controller sensors? But it'll make sense as you go through. I'm probably doing something completely wrong and not the right way, but for what I'm doing, it seems to be working. So until I face a problem, I'm just going to continue developing the logic the way that I've been doing it. So everything runs left to right. So you start from the top and make your way down, and everything cascades into a new line, like traditional code. Tidying up wires is fun. Yeah, it really, really is. I absolutely get a kick out of just putting all of these little dots on and tidying all the wires up and making it look nice and neat. I just wouldn't be able to work with chaotic wires. It would drive me sane. My wires yet coverage into a single mess. Yeah, you see, I can't deal with that. I have to have tidy wires so I know exactly where everything's routing, because I'm such a noob when it comes to logic. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing half of the time, so having tidy wires means that I can visually see what's happening a lot clearer. So I need to have tidy wires. Just do what works. There's not really a right way to do anything. Yeah, that's the thing. There is no right way. You know, everyone does something completely different. Which brings me back to the full logic. So, as I was saying, I was having issues with people just spamming the L2 and R2 buttons and running through the game and triggering different events that shouldn't happen at certain times. So I knew I needed a way of being able to control that, because the game is completely linear. So I thought, okay, well, what I will do is I will set up a piece of logic that basically records the pressing of the buttons, and if they press them within so many times, within so many seconds, it will trigger a fall sound. Which disables the controller, they fall over, and then they get back up and they can go again. And if they try to spam it, it would just keep going around in the loop, so it stops people from running. So I tried for ages to try and do this, and I couldn't figure out a way of doing it. So I spoke to Tap Giles, and he gave me some suggestions, and he actually... where is it? It's in the unused logic. He actually set up this for me, and it was just way too complicated. Oh, thanks for following, Johnny Biscotti. Appreciate it. Yeah, so he set up this for me, but this is way past my learning skills at the minute, and it was just far too complicated. So I reached out to Acer, and he actually had a similar situation where he needed to be able to record how many times a certain button was being pressed within a certain amount of time. And he showed me how to do this. So this is how we are now recording how quickly someone is walking or trying to run, so that we can stop that from happening. Stunning visuals, I know. I've really outdone myself with these visuals. I mean, just look how detailed, and it's 4K HD, HDR10, 120 frames per second on PS5. Yeah, it's took a while to really grasp the greatness of these visuals, but we're getting there. I'm giving Bad Robo a run for his money. So to solve my issue with the running, we have two emitters that emits a invisible cube, and on those cubes is a tag, and what we do is we have a trigger zone to detect those cubes, and once it detects 3 cubes within the zone, it will trigger the fall animation, or fall sound, sorry, there is no animation in this game. So yeah, so it's really handy having this. It solves a lot of problems that I was having. The full firmware stressing you out, that is my sound readiness, because there is so many timelines with so much sound in it. Like the whole game is pretty much sound. So yeah, I'll have to work on my sound readiness eventually, but I'm not really too bothered about that right now. It says that I'll have some delayed sounds, but I haven't come into a point where I've had delayed sound yet, so it's fine. How is the Sculpt Thermo full? we have 1% graphics, 21% gameplay, and 26% audio memory. What I'm trying to do is keep everything within the one scene. I don't want any transitions at all. So as you can see, we've got some we have some destroyers, which destroys the whole chip once it's finished, so that it frees up that space for more logic. I don't know if I'll be able to keep it self-contained into one scene. I'm not sure how complicated the logic's going to get. I was writing some of the script last night, and I came up with this fantastic idea for a section of the game that I know is going to be pretty heavy on logic, at least for me, because I do things, you know, like 20 steps instead of doing it in 3, because I don't know what I'm doing. But Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So, what we're going to do first then is for this full logic, I basically went on to the Dreamiverse and I found this full sound. Rest in peace, headphone users. And it was great for the time so that I could test it and make sure that everything worked, but as with all the sound in this game, I want to make it myself. So what I'm going to do is attempt to make a full sound now that fits the style of the game, because the character's wearing an exoskeleton suit, so it's very metal-like. So when you walk, as you know if you saw the trailer, you get these very thumpy metal-like sounds when you're walking. So the full needs to be no different. It needs to have that type of same sound. So we're going to do that first, and then once we've finished messing around with the full sound, we will move on to the next section of the game. So how this is going to work for the stream is I don't want any spoilers when it comes to the actual storyline and content. So because this is all audio based, it's quite easy to stream and not have spoilers. So when I'm importing all of the voiceover work, what I will do is I will mute the PlayStation sound, so you can't hear any of the voice line, but I'll still have my mic live. So you'll still hear the live commentary from myself, but you won't hear the actual voice line, so it doesn't spoil any of the game. So that's the way I'm going to try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll just keep going and work it out as we go. I'm not much of a streamer, even though I'm on the podcast every week. I don't actually do my solo streams a lot, so this is the kind I tend to do more. So we'll see how it goes. All right, let's get on with the full sound then. So this is what we have currently. It's a pretty good sound. I do like it. It's very realistic, but it's just not what we are currently looking for. So I always start off with the sound effects because there is some really high quality good sounds in here. And what am I looking for? Let's look for collisions. Medium impacts. You see, now I use this sound currently for if you're... Let's go. There we go. So this sound I'm currently using for when you hit a wall. So if you're walking sort of towards a T-junction, or you go to turn right but you continue walking forward, you'll end up continuously hitting the wall, and the hollow heavy metal is what I use for that. But I do like the sound, and I think we'll be able to play around with this and do something else with it. What I'm going to do for now is I'm going to get a timeline, because we don't need any of this yet. We'll isolate it and create it ourselves, and then we'll put it into it. So let's get this in here, and I need to sort this timeline out first. I need to have these on so I can isolate different sounds and whatnot. So I use this vanilla for hitting the wall. I just use that as it is. It's a great sound, and there's multiple versions of it, so it randomizes every time it plays as well, which is nice. So for this though, what I'll do is I'll isolate one of them. I like that one. Okay, so let's get rid of those. Okay. Good. So now we'll change this a bit to fit what we're trying to do. So I'm gonna mess with this sound. I want it to fall off a bit. Yeah, sounding different already. Okay, so we'll add a bit of EQ just to try and change things around a bit. And I think I might change the pitch. That sounds good. And I want to change the panning to That's good. And we bring it in. That's nice. Is there anything else? Let's give it a little bit of reverb. Nice. We don't want any oscillation. We don't want to filter it. We don't want any distortion. Nor do we want any delay. Okay, then do we want to use a dynamic compressor on that? Okay, so let's use that for now. Now what I want to do, this is why I have the original mechanics to hand, so I can just jump in. So I want the left and right. And what I want to do is turn off that. Lovely. Yeah. Stream nerves. Okay, let's move that out of the way. So what I want to do is when you press it too fast, it's going to go bump, bump, bump. So then I want the sound of the feet going before he falls over. That's fine. And we'll bring that one in to about there. Nope, that needs to come in more. Let's come in more again. Just pinch it over. Alright, so we've got the sound of the feet going. That's good. Let's just zoom in a bit. So I get a little bit more granular. Oh, nice, that's good. Okay, so now what I want is the sound of him actually falling. So we're going to have to get creative with that. So we don't need impacts. What we need is machines and movement. You see, I like that sound of the tree, like whatever that was. That one. I can use that and sort of mingle that in with some other mechanical sounds. Let's keep that for now. I'm just going to turn it off. Keep it there for now. Ooh, that's good. That's also good. That's good. No. I like that one. That one's good. We might have to speed it up a bit. That's fine. Let's put it there for now, just test it. Okay, I'm going to have to set that to sustain so it doesn't do that. Okay, so let's speed this up a bit. See how that sounds. maybe put it there, blend in to there, and we can end it at this high point. It needs to be a little bit faster. Let's do 145. Yeah, right, let's end it to there. You're not going to let me cut off that piece, are you? And let's bring in the FUD. Right there. Nice. Let's bring in the wood splintering sound. And I just want to play it on its own for a second. I don't want that one. That one's nice. Not that one. That one's nice. No. No. So it's between these two. I like that one simply because you got a lot of the tension sound at the beginning of the sound. So you've got that instant strenuous sound to it, which is nice. So let's see how that sounds. Let's filter that into. Okay, definitely add sustain onto that. Stop it playing. And I might double these up. Nice! Okay, these are quite loud, so let's turn up the volume. Oh, okay, we'll have to double them. Okay, that's good. So what I should have done is I should have done this in the original Full Mechanics timeline so that I could have tested this straight away. As a matter of fact, that's what we will do. Let's put those there. Let's save this as its own sound. Oh, no. I don't want that. Oh, sound effect. And
I'm on my own, broken alone.
whoopsie. Still new to streaming. Bear with me. I'm not used to having all of these controls. Will normally does it all on the podcast. Oh no, desktop audio's gone. There we go. I'll get used to it. The settings. The settings. So this is full sound. Let's just call it full sound. Alright. So I will now pop you over here. I'll pop you in the original mechanics for now. You can stay there. Because I don't want to mess with anything. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So let's go into Full Logic. So I have this cube on here, so it makes it easier to see it when I pull it into the actual pitch black game. Because it's so dark, it's so difficult to see stuff and I don't know where it's spawning, so I always put a bright cube into anything that I've isolated. Makes it super easy to see. Right, so we have, so there's the Full Logic. Let me show you how this works. Actually, it's really cool. So let's just get that on. So you see there's the cube there, and we have the trigger zone, there, and when you do it, it spawns a cube. But when you do it 3 times within a 0.6 second window, triggers the sound, which is pretty cool. So thank you Aset for that. So let's take okay, this is all keyed up, isn't it? So we'll have to rekey everything. That's no we won't. No we won't. We'll just take a see, look, it does this and then I can never find it. Like, I don't know where. Oh, there it is. Let's take that. And rather than rekey everything, I'll just delete all of this and drag it in, because this particular timeline has got keyframes and everything set to it, so I'll just bring this in. Is that the length it's going to be though? I think so. So this needs to be, what is this? That turns off the controller. I need to name that. And this needs to go at the end to turn and reset everything. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Pop you there. Lovely. So let's try it now. Okay, it didn't play properly the first time. Okay, I like the sound. But we need the sound to carry on with him getting back up on his feet. So we've got him falling, but then it just resets. So we need to add to this now of the sound of him actually getting back up. Otherwise, it's not really going to make much sense. So we'll continue developing this in here now that we're here. That's fine. So we'll just open this up. And we will increase our timeline. And then I'll just import this back. I should always isolate stuff. I need to start isolating different sections of the game. Because like now I can just test this as much as I want without interfering with the other mechanics of the game and stuff, so I really do need to start doing this more. Alright, so now we've got the sound of him falling. Now we need the sound of him getting back up, so we would have 2 steps. We would have a left and a right. And they would be further apart because of him getting up. Let's move this just so I can hear it. They'd be further apart again. That's a bit too far apart. Let's go about there. Still a little more. That's good. Okay, so that's the sound of the feet getting back up. But how do I want this to sound? See, this is the majority of what I do. I just sit in timelines and think of how I want sound effects to sound, to try and portray the best environment and realism that I can, so that it makes it easier for the imagination of the player to sort of visually, in their brain, imagine this world that this player is in. So it's super important to me that the sound design is good, because it's the whole premise of the game. So sometimes I could sit for literally like 3 hours just working on this sound just to make sure it sounds good. I'm gonna have to turn on my fans, it's getting really warm in here. Okay, so we've got the sound of it falling, we've got the feet getting back up. The feet would come later though. We need the sound of him actually getting back up. So let's go back to our sound effects and Maybe not so much stress this time, but mechanical loops. We could have a gear sound. That would make some sense. Maybe just really lightly in the background as he's getting back up, sort of like the spine section of the exoskeleton suit. That would be pretty cool. That might sound nice. Let's see what else we've got in here. I like that. I'll be using that later. Let's sort out this one first. Let's see what that sounds like. First of all, it's far too loud. It needs to be in the background. So you'd stand back up so you'd fall over. First thing you'd do is put your hands down to push yourself back up. Like, that makes the most logical sense to me. My goodness, we've been streaming for 37 minutes already and we're still in the full sound. See, this is what happens. I get really fixated on one thing and... yeah. Oh no, there's no desktop audio all this time. Oh no. Is it working now? Yes. There we go. It's a good job there's only one person watching. I'm not a good streamer. I'll get better. I promise. I'll get better. Alright, so let's bring these back in. Probably about there. So, we're going to want to go to here, but... because this sets me, I'm going to play it once. We're going to want it to there. But what I might do... whoops, is if I get an action recorder. Bear with me. What I want to do is change the tempo as it's playing. Oh, oops. Let's do that. What is happening? How is the sound still playing? Weird, okay. That didn't work how I wanted it to work. It's still playing. Set it to sustain. There we go. Right. Let's try this again. Like that. How's that sound? Mmm. I like that. That sounds good. Let's put you there. It is quite long though, I mean it's like 4 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, but it will deter the player from continuing to do it. So let's listen to all that in together. A grunt sound would be good. Should I add a grunt sound? Like a yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Let's add one of those sounds. Let's record one. I think that'd be nice. And then like a foot, like a yeah, that'll add to the immersion of it, I think. Let's try it. I'll have to turn off my fans, otherwise we'll get too much noise. Alright. Bear with me while I get everything set up to record whilst I'm streaming. This is new. Something different. Right, I've got a load of voice recordings in here that I no longer need. Let's get rid of all of those. And those. Alright, we're ready to record, so let's try doing one. Let's take a listen. I'll roll with that. Not my best work, but it will do. So let me just prepare. This is something I wasn't intending to do on stream today. So let's just prepare that now. Get that file. It needs to be a WAV file. So I need to convert that. And then we'll upload it into Dreams. See how that sounds of it. Oh, I can put the fan back on. Okay. So let's download our WAV. Go to indreams.me. Put it over here now so I can see the screen. And audio importer. Voiceover. Start it there and we'll end it there. Good. Send to console. Seriously, like this this importer is an absolute blessing. Like I would not be able to do any of this game without it. So I am so grateful that this is a thing. Right, we need to take that down, bring it to about there, and fade her out. Make another one to get the clip that I need. There, lovely, and we need to go to our impact and sync it with that. Let's just see how that sounds. Whoa. Too loud. Whoa. And I need to change the pitch a bit. Whoa. Whoa. What do we have here? 39. I'll just do. That can be a little bit louder because it's an impact. But we'll also have that on one as well. And then we'll have some like, yeah. That sounds good though. That can be louder. Let's try that. Nice. Okay. How long are we at now? Oh, come on, drifty controller, work with me. Wow, it's quite long. I'm not sure how I feel about it being like 7 seconds long. But it is good though. It does sound good. I like it. Let's do some groaning. Wet the vocal cords. All right. Like, yeah. Let's try that. Everything is on the fly with this. Everything. Alright, let's see how that sounds. That would have been good if I didn't have the fans on. Let's try again. Take a listen. Pretty good. Better than the Aztec, actually. I'll take that. Let's upload that to Dreams. Drag that in. Just got to convert it to a WAV file. And download the WAV. Go to the importer. Replace all sound effects and bring that in. Nice. Send to console. It's just so quick and easy. I love it. I love how easy this is. Like the importation of sound is just so nice in Dreams now. Let's put it there. That might sound good. And we'll change the pitch down one. You'd never say. I like that. It sounds good. It's too sudden though after the drop. We have to increase it a little more, just a little bit. Let's try that. A little more. I like it, but yeah, it's still a little too early. Just before the the gear starts to move. It's too soon. It's not letting me be very granular with this. Let's try it though and see how it sounds. Ooh, that sounds better actually. I like that. Okay, that sounds good. I like it. But we're going to have to maybe go down another pitch because it sounds too much like my natural voice. Let's try going down by 3. That's better. I think I'll do the same for these as well. That's nice. I like that. I like that. Okay. We can end it there. It's much longer now. Let's see how it actually sounds with the walking and everything. Pop you there. I don't know what. Oh yeah, because it used to be a different timeline, that's why. We can bring this up now. If I can grab it. I'll put it just the other side of it. That sound needs to be a tiny bit louder. And I want to add a couple more sounds to that as well, I think. Yeah, I like that. I want to hear what it sounds like in-game, so let's just give that a go. Sounds good. I like it. That sounds really nice. Much better than what we previously had. Ooh, still playing time. Alright, I want to add a little bit more sound to this though. Like, this is good. It sounds like the back, like, cranking up spinal cord thing on the imaginary exoskeleton suit. That sounds good. But I want another sound in there. I want to layer it and make it sound a bit more realistic. So let's see what else we can find in MM's cupboard. Ooh, characters. Maybe there might be something here. You never know. See that? Let's take that off. See, that might sound good in here. And add some reverb. Ah yes, I forgot that sound increases its length. That's too in sync with that. Off sync it a bit. You see the rotation on this is stick drift. Ooh, I like the pitch reduction on that. That's nice. That's nice. I like that. It's like kind of like a readjusting sound to say, yep, you are now level. This can be turned up a bit more, I think. Okay, yeah, but I want something else to go with this gear loop so that it's more. It just adds more to it. That was a good find there. See, there's sounds that you wouldn't necessarily think would work, and until you try them, you just never know. And that's what I love about the sound side of Dreams. You can just play around with so many different sounds. It's really cool. So we want the... So who's in the junk cupboard? I will be right back. I've just got to quickly go check on something. Alright, I am back. Sorry about that. So, let's continue. Let's get back into our mechanical movements. That sounds good. Ooh. That's nice. Let's try and line that up. Oh, it's got that stupid 3D audio on it that I don't like. That's a bit too loud, I think. We can turn that down. And do that. Bring this back a tiny bit. Okay, let's see what else we got. No. Ooh, that is a fun little sound. Oops. That's a fun sound. Let me find it again. I think I'm actually using this sound for the doors, but because it's isolated a bit more, it should be easier to sort of disguise it as a new sound. I do a lot of sound repetition as well. It's just easier if you've got sounds that you know work for certain situations. You can just change them by the pitch or the speed or the amount of reverb or delay that's on it, and it just creates a brand new sound once you add it to the whole grand scheme of whatever it is that you're making. And that's really cool. The reusability of sounds and disguising them as different ones. I really like doing that. So let's take a listen to this in isolation. Find the best one. That's a nice one. And I think we could add... So I think we could actually pitch that down. Nice. And then to stop that sudden sound. That's nice. Oops. And we can bring this. Let's chop this down a little bit. Bring it about there. Okay, we can turn up the volume on that to max so we get more of it. Not getting much of that sound. Let's double you up. Actually, you know what? I really like that sound. I'm going to triple it. If I could grab the timeline. Ooh, I have an idea. Let's change the pitch on some of them. To have this one to 6. Nice, I like that, that's good. And all the different clicks and clacks in there at different seconds as well, that's good. I think there might be room for another sound. I do like this one. This one sounds good. We could add it at the end of this. Sort of maybe there, just before, maybe there. Let's take a listen of what versions we have. It's that one I like. Bring that out. I'm going to pitch. And let's add a little bit of reverb. Just as sort of background noise. Did we turn off the 3D sound on it? No, we did not. We're going to have to because, yeah. Ugh. That will change the sound now completely, so they may be too loud. Yeah, as I thought, they're too loud, so we're going to have to reduce the sound on our microphone to half. Sound is still too loud on those. This needs pitching down more. Pitch. Okay, you are too loud. And I might just add a little bit of fade in. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Let's see how it sounds in game. Have we got enough time for all that to play? We haven't changed the length of time, I don't believe. Let's just test it and find out. Nice! I think we may have the sound that sounds good. Yeah, I like that. It's all mechanical and pistons and stuff. It sounds good. Nice. I like it. I like it. So, what I want to do is turn this off. I'm just going to save this as a new creation. I always like to just keep the old stuff just to sort of show how far I've come and what I've done. It's always best just to keep a new version of everything. I might want to go back to the old stuff another time, who knows. So, new... Learn to type, Jeremy. New full sound. There you go. There we go. We can delete that. And we'll just save this as it is. That's fine. All we've done is change the sound in there. So we will now go back to Pitch Black. And I believe we was in the first one. We can now import the new... See, it's crazy how... I'll just put it there. That's why I always put the glowy thing on it, because it's just... Now, I don't know... Yeah, yes, okay, so what I will need to do then is do what I did with that one, so I need to open this up, delete all these sounds, bring you up, and bring you up, Cut you out. Bring the sound in. How is that empty? I don't know how that's empty. That's very strange. That's fine, I can key it. I know what that one was for. Pop you there. So this is the reset. And you will be turn off controller. Now I'll need to key you. You work though? Okay, it's very strange. So let's okay. That's a weird sound. Okay, yeah, I'll have to wait till this is active first in order to be able to key it so that it turns it off because it's currently not turned on. Okay, that's fine. So it's empty for now, but that will work once we use it. Perfect. So now we have the true false sound. So what I'm going to do is I will need to add that to all the other ones eventually. But I'll do that as and when. Yeah, I'll do that as and when. So, yeah, we have a new false sound. It's only taken like an hour and 12 minutes, but that's how it goes. That's just unfortunately the way it is. It takes a long time to make the sounds right, at least for how I want them to sound. Nice. Really like that. Pleased with that. So that's the full logic in there. I'll be best to change that later as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to mute the stream real quick whilst I get to the point of being able to add the new stuff that I've been working on. So I'm just going to mute the desktop audio. So you shouldn't be able to hear anything. But you'll still be able to hear me though. It's just for the fact of, for anyone new that's on the stream, I don't want to spoil sort of the intro to the game or anything. So all of this is like the intro, and I don't want to spoil any of that. So the way that the game is currently set up, and I am going to start isolating logic so that I don't have this issue. But everything is set so this is turned on, and this will not turn on until this is turned off, and then this will not turn on until this is turned off, and vice versa. It just goes on and on and on to make sure that everything runs in its linear way. So that's why I've muted the desktop audio for now, so that we don't have any of that sound, so nothing gets spoiled whilst I just get to where we need to go. It's sounding great. I'm excited about playing it. This will come out like next week, right? I wish it was coming out next week. It will definitely be this year, though. There we go. Just to check, no one can hear anything right now, can they, other than my voice? Yeah? I don't know. I'm hoping you guys can't hear that, so it doesn't sort of spoil anything. So this happens in the beginning of the game. Let's just. This is fine. I don't mind showing this. Okay, you can't hear anything. Cool. So I'm just gonna go through. That's fine. And I'm gonna turn you off. And it won't see, like, if I tried to turn this off. it just won't, because of the way that I've set the logic. This cannot die until this has been activated. As soon as the next chip has been activated, then this is allowed to die, but until then, no matter what I do, this is not going to turn off. It's just the way that I originally set up the logic, and it makes it really difficult to be able to edit the latest stuff, because you have to play through the sequence in order for these chips to turn on, and I don't really feel like messing with it and breaking it. So I'm going to quickly play through this now, and then we'll be able to edit the new stuff. So currently it's just going through all the tutorial and stuff. I'm glad people like the concept of this. It's really cool. So as you can see in the tutorial, like for the beginning, the actual UI shows up just in the beginning, just to get you used to how the controls work. And yeah, it goes away after that and you never see it again. Ooh, I can test the see, as you can see, like now that's deleted, that's gone now, and now we're on to the next one. So at least you can see how this works. So this is just walking at the minute, and we have a counter counting up. It's currently playing a timeline with some dialogue and narrative going on. And we also have another counter here with a node. Whoops. But this node will not activate until this counter is finished. So what that basically means is I'm currently walking through a hallway, and in order to know once I've reached the end of the hallway is by playing a sound of hitting the wall. And to do that, we keep walking until we've reached the amount of steps that I want the player to reach, and once that is full, it will activate this node, which will then turn on the hit wall sound. So you're no longer going forward, you're hitting a wall, and you can't go anywhere until you move in the direction that you've been told to move in. So as you can see, the counter's filling up. And now it activates this. So now, as you can see, it's playing a different sound. And I'm going to have to go into play mode here because I need to turn. I had to turn left. And if I pressed left on the D-pad, it would undo something. So now this is a completely different section of logics. So that's for something else that I'm not ready to show yet. I'm keeping that for when the game's done. But that's doing something else. And now it's doing a door opening. Moving on to a different piece of narrative. And thanks for popping by, Topaz. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you like the sound of this game. I need to stop saying look, like first look, and I'm glad you like the look of this game, because there is nothing to look at, even though it's funny. Press X. That's triggered another timeline. God, there's so many wires here. As you will notice, the logic gets more simplified the further I go on, and that's because I'm learning as I'm making this. So it's really interesting to see the progression of the logic change the further I go into it. It's really cool. Cool. It's a cool and original concept for Dreams games. So excited to see where you take it. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. With this one, I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can without going too crazy, because if I start adding all of the mechanics that I want to add to it, it will never get finished, and I definitely want to release it this year. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to turn down the voiceover because it's really messing with me when I'm talking. So yeah, I definitely want to release it this year, so in order for me to be able to do that, I need to be strict with the amount of different mechanics and gameplay ideas I add to this. So I come up with a new mechanic last night that I want to add to it, which will be quite complicated in terms of logic for me at least. And that's going to be the final mechanic that I'm going to add to it. There's 3 or 4 mechanics to this, which is really nice, especially for me with never making something like this before. So but yeah, after this is finished and it's out, I'm going to continue working on the concept and try and make it more complicated, and I might start collaborating with people that know logic a lot more than me, so that we can be more complex with the design of everything. And but for this right now, it's like my first solo thing, and I want to release it and it be mine. So I'm going to keep it simple, and yeah, I hope to have it out this year. So we need to now we have this, there's this choice mechanic here, so you can choose to either go left or right, and depending on which you choose will determine the route that it takes through this complicated mess of logic. So let's do that, which then activates this. And we can keep going. Okay, so got to go left here, so I'll have to go into gameplay for a quick second. Alright, so from here actually, now I can turn the sound back on because
we're going down these stairs. Just take your time, okay?
This was actually shown in the... Was it shown? I can't remember now if this section was shown in the gameplay. Let me mute it just for a second, just to be safe. I can't remember. I'm more sure that this piece was shown in the gameplay, but I can't remember now. Yes, I did.
For this sector
Here we
shows
go. We can
three
put the audio back
conductor
on for a
rooms.
second.
We're heading for Conductor D first. There's a straight path leading to the engine room which holds Conductor D. Continue straight until you've gone through 2 doors.
Okay, so that logic's gone now. It's deleted. It's taken it off of the thermometer, which is good. So that's what I intend to do with the whole thing. But this section we can play now because this is what was actually shown in the first look part of my original Jammy Interactive stream. So let's go through this. So it's counting up. Plays the jump scare.
That woke me up. You okay? Don't worry, it must have been a wrench or something. We keep movable workbenches in these sectors to help move our tools around easily. Just be careful where you're going. At least we know you definitely have an on-journey engineer aboard the ship, or these workbenches wouldn't be out. I wonder where they are.
Now allows us to continue. No worries, man. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I'll be streaming this all the time, so yeah, thanks for stopping by. See you later. And then that keyframe will activate the next one, so we can start walking some more.
You're at the door, but this one's going to be locked. Conductor rooms are locked out to standard crewmates, but in emergency circumstances like this one, there is a manual override. There'll be a metal wheel-like mechanism on the door. Turn it to the right to open the lock, and you should be able to get in.
So as you can see now, the pop-up for X to interact doesn't come up anymore. It only does it the first time for all of the controls. So it comes up for the L2 and R2 to walk, it comes up for the D-pad to turn direction, and it comes up for when you're pressing X for the first time. After the first time, it never pops up again. It's purely just for the intro. But if you do ever forget, you can press the touchpad and it will bring up the controls. Let me move it over here away from the logic so you can see that. So it will always show you how to actually do everything in the game. And if you're wondering, actually... I didn't know what that was for a second. I completely forgot that I had stickers on my stream and I thought it was playing some random audio inside the microchip. I was looking around like, where did that come from? I completely forgot that I had stickers attached to this stream. Thank you, Frelino. Appreciate that. That's funny. What was I doing? Yeah, so it only pops up for the first time. And yeah, oh yes, that's what I was saying. So if you're wondering what the actual icon in the bottom here is, where it's showing the controller, there is some audio cutscenes in the game that can last for like a couple of minutes. So what I've done is to help differentiate what's an audio cutscene and what's gameplay, is when it's a physical part of the game that you can play, the controller will be shown, and if it's a audio cutscene, it will show a camera, just to give you that identifier. Because, as I said, some of the audio cutscenes, particularly in the beginning, like the intro and stuff, that really sort of demonstrates what this game is about. They can go on for 2 or 3 minutes. So it's always good to be able to have that indicator to know what's gameplay and what's not. So that's what those little icons are. Oh my god, this controller drift! Alright, let's continue going through this so we can get to the final section here. Okay, I don't have the exact spec for the room you're currently in to hand, so we're going to have to wing it with the amount of steps you're going to take here. There should be a control panel on the left wall, so turn 90 degrees and just move forward until you hit the wall. But Gonna have to go into gameplay.
Please be careful. The last thing we need is for you to unintentionally break stuff in this room.
How come it's not letting me... It's not turning on.
Unintentionally break stuff in this room.
There we go. Little glitch there. And it still won't let me do it in gameplay. Strange. Okay, let's mute the desktop audio now, because we're actually inside the chip, so we theoretically don't need to get to the end now to be able to do what I want to do. So the audio is disabled now on the stream. You won't be able to see it, and I've got that little thing there just to help everybody understand why. Yeah, so now we can move on with adding some of the new audio, and I need to find where that is. I need to know exactly where I am with audio. Let's see where we are. Yeah, I know where that is. Okay, so then that activates. So that's the turning left. So then we will need to now add a keyframe next to it here. I'll add that in a second because we need to... I'm confused for a second, hold on. I need to look at this logic a second. Right, yes, okay, so counter, that's what we need. Counter. Yes, that's how we do it. So this, nope, it needs to be off first. This will turn this on. And it will keep the changes, and that will activate. I'll trigger out. Like that. And then we will need the L2 and the R2 to the counter. That needs to be 4. And now we need to tidy this up. Because, as we know, I cannot have messy wires. That's fine. Next one. Beautiful. Nice and tidy. So that will count up to 4, and then we need a controller that will be turned off. And we will need a keyframe to turn it on. Keep the changes. Oh, thank you very much. Thanks, Elka, for the raid. Appreciate it. How we doing, Raiders? And thank you for following. How are we all doing? I'm doing good, thank you. Doing pretty good. We are currently working on Pitch Black. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you all for following. So let's do that. Oh, look at all the follows. So nice. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks, Alka. Appreciate it. So nice of you all popping by. We need a timeline here. And actually we need a timer as well. So we need to turn that off. I didn't know you were streaming. Yeah, I'm starting streaming Pitch Black now. I'm going to try and stream it at least once a week. Because I really like it when people interact with the stream and get to see the process of how this is being made. So it's really good. I like it. So yeah, at least once a week I'm going to be streaming it. If I have time, I'll be streaming it more. It just all depends on my schedule. I know you. It's only natural. Happy to see you are streaming on your own channel. Yeah, it's weird streaming on my own channel. Obviously, every week I'm on Mighty Vicious's channel for the podcast. It's kind of strange doing it myself. It's weird, but I'll get used to it. It's I find it difficult handling all of the stream settings and trying to stay interactive with chat whilst I'm working on this, because I get very zoned in very quickly to what I'm doing. But yeah, it's all good. So we need a timer here. Move my mouse out of the way. And we need to set this timer. Whoops, don't need to name it. Set it to 0.1. The tiger time to reset. Pop that there. X starts the timer and the output goes into the timeline. Just trying to hit these wires. That was fine as it was actually. That looks fine. So we walk 4 steps and move this over. Oh, someone's at the door. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. What do we... Oh, chat's going crazy. What do we have? What do we have? Why so many controller sensors? There's lots of controller sensors because it's the first time that I've made anything like this, and it just made sense to me to have them there so I can visually see what happens in the sequence that it happens in, and just turn them on and off as I need them. I'm trying to use, as you can see here, this is the main walking. This is the main walking mechanic, and I'm trying to wire that up and just use one of those and wire that up to everything, and that's difficult enough to see exactly where everything's going. But like as you can see here, this is a X press. This is using the left directional button. An X press, left directional button, right directional button. So for me, it's just easier to have multiple controller sensors so that I can visually see where the character is moving and what they're doing, because it plays out in sequence. It just makes it so much easier for me to understand my own logic. Otherwise, I'd get so confused so quickly. Most likely convenience, but who knows, maybe Janny knows. No, yeah, it's convenience. It is literally convenience, just so I can see a visual representation of the walking and where the character is going. I was staring at a black screen for 20 minutes because I thought that's just how you stream, how the stream is supposed to look. Turns out my screen wasn't turned on. Just kidding. I've been live for an hour and a half, and a lot of that time was spent making a new sound. I can show you actually what we've been doing. So one of the issues that I was having that I discussed at the beginning of the stream is that I've had a couple of people play the very beginning of Pitch Black, and the first thing that everybody did was start to spam the left and right triggers when they knew that's what you used for walking. And it was the first thing that everybody did. They went left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And because this game is so linear in the way that the logic is designed, I need people to walk in a sensible manner in order for different things to trigger properly. So the way that I was going to fix that was by adding a fall mechanic. So if you try to run, you'll fall over, and it makes complete sense. You're in complete darkness. It's not a place you should be running. So it all made perfect sense. So let me just quickly save this. And I will show you what we've been doing. So, full logic, here it is. So this is what we have to stop people from running. So we have the standard controller with, oh, stick drift, please leave me alone tonight. Yeah, so we have the left and right, and it triggers a sound, and it counts up to be able to trigger the different elements in the game. So to control that, we have an emitter for the left and an emitter for the right with a trigger sound. And what this does is we have an invisible cube here with a tag on it called step, and that's inside this quite large trigger zone. And what happens is once you press the button, it will trigger one of these cubes to be emitted. And what happens is if you try to move too fast, and the parameters for it is 3 cubes within a time window of 0.6 seconds, which is this, it will cause the fall to happen. So walking normal, if you try to run, and it triggers the falling mechanic and the character getting back up. So that's what we did in the beginning of the stream, was actually create... Ooh, let's turn that off. Is create this sound. It took a while to get it right. Thank you very much for following, Boom Shakalaka. Love the name. Such a cool name. So yeah, this is the sound that we made in the beginning of the stream. So hopefully, because it's so long, it's about 7 seconds in total, it will deter players from trying to run and try and spam their way through the game. Yeah, the workaround, it's really clever. Acer helped me with it. I would have never figured that out on my own. He had a similar situation with Closter Factory, where he needed to be able to control the amount of time someone was pressing a button, and it turns out that that particular piece of logic that he made was perfectly fitting for what I needed, so he just showed me how to do it, and yeah, it's really, really, really useful. And it just stops people from running and triggering stuff when it's not supposed to work. So that's what we was doing at the beginning of the stream. And now we've got all you lovely people here. Don't be afraid to use more microchips. It clears clutter and make things a whole lot easier to visualize. Yeah, what I'm doing is, as you can see, I've got everything inside a centralized microchip. And then when you open it, you have like the intro here, a second intro, the beginning of the game. I've put it all, each section of the game is in its own microchip, and then there's subsections within those microchips to just help me organize everything if needed. Then we've got all this complicated wiring. I still don't understand how I've managed to do this, to be quite honest. And what I've done is I've set this logic, so once this logic is complete and finished entirely, everything within this chip, once it moves on to the next chip, this chip will die. So it saves on the gameplay memory. So I'm hoping to be able to centralize the entire game into one scene, so I don't have any transitions, even though a transition wouldn't make any difference because it's all black, so you wouldn't even see it transfer, but it'd be nice to be able to keep everything centralized into one chip if I can. But yeah, so that's what we've been doing, and we are now working on the next section of gameplay, for the maintenance deck. So what I've been doing though is muting the actual sound of dreams once I'm working on the cutscenes and the voice work, so it doesn't have any spoilers or anything in it. So that's what we've been doing today. But unfortunately, this is where I'm going to have to end the stream. I know we've got 7 people in here, and thank you, Elka, so much for the raid, but my wife has just turned ill and she needs my help, so I'm going to have to end the stream here today, but I will be back, hopefully this week, with more streams. And as I said at the beginning, I intend to keep Pitch Black exclusively developing on stream if I can. So I will definitely be around more. Thank you so much to everybody that's followed, and thank you, Elka, for the raid. Thank you everybody that's been watching. I really, really appreciate it. I'm having so much fun doing this, and yeah, I intend to stream a lot more, but thank you so much. I will be back soon. Bye, everyone.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare, 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for